Okay, but I'll do it after y'all's notes. What? Now you don't want her in here? Yeah, I didn't give it to you. All right, all right.
It's my preference.
Okay. Okay, let's get started. So you have lots of time to finish your Delta math and then maybe even just have some free time today. Okay. So, last class, we add, subtract, and multiplied polynomials, but there was one operation that was missing and it was division. Okay, so let's review. Okay, pretend you're in elementary school and I'm, yes, and we're gonna do long division, okay?
Back to the dark ages. Wait, how the hell do you know?
Let's review, shall we?
How?
All right, let's focus in. Okay, so if you can do division with numbers, okay, then it'll help with you trying to do it with polynomials. Okay, so first question, pretend I'm your, whatever, 5th grade teacher. How many times does 7 go into 9? Do you remember? 1. You put a 1 on top. And actually, I'm going to write this a little bit bigger because I just write too big. 94, 60. Okay, so the first question you would say is how many times does 7 go into 9? We said once. So I put a 1 up top. And then I do 1 times 7 is 7. And then I minus. Do you remember that? Okay, then what's... You have to minus that, correct?
Why?
That's just how it goes. Okay, then 9 minus 7 is 2. And then I carry down the next number, which is 4. And then I repeat and I say, how many times will 7 go into 24? 3 times. I put a 3 up top. And then I do 3 times 7. What do I get? Put it here. 21. And then I subtract. What is 24? Take away 21. 3 left over. Then I carry down the 6. Am I talking to you like you're in 5th grade?
Hold on.
Hey, friends. Yes.
Where did we get the 21?
We did 3 times 7 to get 21, and then we minus. Okay, next question. How many times will 7 go into 36? 5. And then remember the next number, I take the 5, I times it by 7, I put it here. What do I get? And then I subtract. 36 take away 35 leaves me with 1, then carry down the 0. How many times does 10 go in? 7 go into 10? 1. 1 times 7 is 7. Then I subtract. 10 minus 7 is 3. What's that number called?
I forgot. No, remaining.
Good job. The remainder. Okay.
That's still a thing?
Wait, that's
still a thing? I don't get
It is.
3.
Yep. Okay, and this one actually wouldn't be 0.333 because here's why. When you write your final answer, this is what I want you to write. 7 went into 9,460, 1,351 times, plus a remainder of 3/7 left over. Okay, so this is how many times it actually went into it evenly, but then I had a remainder of 3 left over out of 7. Because we divided by 7, so that number should go on the bottom. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look. This is gonna be your whole number plus your remainder over your divisor. Okay, and divisor is what you're dividing by. So if I divided by 7, we would call that the divisor. Okay, so now that we have reviewed how to do it with numbers, we're going to do it with polynomials. A lot of the structure, though, is the same. Okay, however, if you space out and don't watch the first four the first four examples, Okay.
Are you?
then this is gonna take the whole period. You don't want that, I don't want that. So let's really lock in so that we don't have to do every example in this packet, okay? We're gonna start with number 7. I don't know why it's number 7, it should be number 1, okay, but just pretend. Okay, here's what I want you to think of. What would I have to times 2x by to perfectly match a 4x squared? 2x is correct. Okay, so I want you to take that and put it on top. We'll talk about it. Okay, so put a 2x here. Now let's talk about how we got that. If I have a 2x and I really want it to be a 4x squared, I need 2 times 2 to get the 4, and I need x times x to get the square. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, also, can we close Chromebooks? I'm sorry, I forgot to write. Okay, next, remember for division, once I find this number, I multiply it and I put it here. Do you remember that? So we're gonna do that again. What is 2x times 2x? 4x squared. And remember, we did that on purpose so that it would match, right? But then I also have to times the 2x by the 1. What's 2x times 1? Plus 2x. Okay, then, after I multiply these two, and I write it here, what operation did I do? We subtracted, right? But when we subtract, we need to make sure to subtract everybody in that row. So I'm gonna put a minus here and here. Now, if you did your long division correctly, your first column here is gonna cross out, because what is 4 minus 4?
0.
0, it crosses out, thank you. Okay, and then I have an 8x minus a 2x. How many is left over from there?
6x.
8x minus 2x is 6x. And then I'm gonna carry down the next term, which is a plus 10.
Wait,
And,
what about the plus 8?
remember, 8 minus 2 is where we got the 6. Okay, then we're gonna repeat the process again. You're gonna get it. What do I times 2x by to perfectly match a 6x?
3.
A 3. Now, do I need another x this time?
No.
No, because 2 already has an x and I only want a 6x. So put a plus 3.
Wait, we can just ignore the x.
No, we want the x, because what's 2x times 3? 6x, and I want the first 2 to match.
Okay.
Okay, now, remember, I can't just times the 3 with the 2x, I also need to times it with the 1, because there's not just a 2x in front, it's a 2x plus 1. What's 3 times 1? 3, and then what operation do I do with that row? You subtract all the way across. So I'm gonna minus. What is 6 minus 6 in the front? Crosses out. Okay, that should always happen or you did it wrong. And then what's 10 minus 3?
7.
That is called your remainder. Okay, then to write your final answer, I left you a blank at the bottom, but it's way at the bottom, so I'm just gonna write it here. Your answer would be 2x plus 3 plus a remainder of 7 over 2x plus 1. Write it down and then we'll label the parts. The 2x plus 3 is the whole number that you got up here. And then your remainder goes on top over what you divided by. I was dividing by 2x plus 1, so that part goes here. Does that make sense? Okay, let's do 2 more, and then I'm gonna have you try one and see if it's a disaster. Okay, take a look at number 8. I want to times my x to perfectly match an 8x cubed. So what do I need to times by?
8x squared.
8x squared is correct. So I'm gonna put my 8x squared here. And now remember, I need to multiply my 8x squared by both the x and the minus 2. What's 8x squared times x? 8x cubed, we did that on purpose, right? And then 8x squared times minus 2 would be minus 16x squared. Very good. What is my operation that I apply to that row? Subtraction. Now, when you subtract all the way across. So watch what happens. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to put a minus here. and then I'm gonna put a minus on another minus, what's gonna happen? Plus. Okay, so if you're minusing on another minus, so what I like to say for this is you're just switching all the signs. Okay, if it's a positive 8, make it minus. If it's already a minus on the 16, switch it to a plus. What was your question?
Did we get the 3 exponent 3 from adding?
So we're multiplying x squared times x,
So we just add.
but then you add the little numbers, correct? Okay, 8 minus 8, what happens?
Cancels out.
Okay, and now it's a 12 plus 16, which is how many? 28x squared. Okay, then carry down the minus 6x. Okay, next question. I have a regular x in the front. What do I really want it to be? A 28x squared. So what do I need? Because we added these. Remember? But we minused on a minus, turned it to a, okay? So what do I need to times x by to make it perfectly match a 28x squared? We need a 28x, very good. Put plus 28x on top, and then we're gonna times that by the x minus 2 in the front. 28x times another x is 28x squared. We did that on purpose. What is 28x times minus 2? I should have made you get a calculator. It's 56, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do I do to this row? Normally I would have you answer subtract, but let's just say change the signs. So what are we gonna do to this row? We're gonna change the signs. So now it's a minus in the front, but my 56 goes to a plus. Front two, what's gonna happen every time? Cancel them out. And then in my next row, I have a -6 and a positive 56. That's gonna be a 50x. Very good. Am I done? Carry down what? Minus 20. And then I asked myself the same question we've been asking. What does my x have to times by to perfectly match a 50x? I just need the 50. I don't need any more x's because I already have an x in front. And I don't want to turn it into a squared or anything. I want to keep it 50x. 50 times x is 50x. What about 50 times minus 2? Minus 100, but then what do I do with the signs on that row? Change it, so it's minus and then plus. 50 negative 50 crosses out. For my last number, it's a minus 20 and a plus 100. What's that?
80.
80 is called my remainder. Very good. Okay, write your final answer. Okay, and then we'll check it. Remember, it should be whole number plus remainder over divisor. Okay, if labeling those doesn't help you, it's fine.
Where did we get from last?
Minus 15.
The 50 actually.
Oh, we did 50 times x is 50x. 50 times minus 2 is minus 100, but then we changed the signs. Because we have to subtract that row. And remember, if you minus on a minus, it turns it to a plus.
I think you're doing it.
Okay, sorry, I'll try this one.
I can't keep us.
Okay, your answer should look like this. Look at how you wrote it and see if it's correct. Okay, so you put the whole number part first. Okay, that's the part from the top, 8x squared plus 28x plus 50. And then you put plus your remainder over your divisor. All right, when you're ready, turn the page, please. Okay, next one, we're doing number 10. Number 10. Uh-huh. Okay, you said just an x squared? 2x squared, very good. Okay, so look at your next example. You're always trying to get the first thing on the outside to match whatever the first thing is on the inside. So if it's a 2x, what do I need to times that by to get a 4x cubed? Okay, do it and then write the next row. So I want a 2x squared, and then you're gonna times it by both of these and line it up underneath. I'm gonna give you a second to do that. Okay, and then, maybe see if you can guess the next step. So then what, 2x squared times 2x? And then remember that then you're gonna choose back. Like carry down your Okay, you should have this. Okay, is this right so far? Okay, and then I do 4 minus 4, and is this a 6? Gotta change all the signs. What happens to the minus? Now it's a plus. 10 plus 4 is 14. Okay, carry down the 6x. We repeat the process. What do I need to times my 2x in the front by to match this? Cause it's 10 plus 4, yeah? Okay, so 2 times 7 will give me 14. And then I'm gonna need one more x because 2 only has a regular x and I need it to turn into a 14x squared. Then I'm gonna take my 7x, times it by both of these guys on the outside. 7x times 2x is a 14x squared. And 7x times minus 2 is a minus 14x. Will it stay that way? Because what am I going to do to all the signs? Switch. So this is a minus and a plus. What happens in front? 14 minus 14 is cancels out. And then 6 plus 14 gives me what? 20x. Because if you're adding, remember you don't add the x's. Okay, then carry down what? Okay, do the last row. See if you can finish it out. Okay, you're asking yourself, don't answer out loud. What do I times the 2x by to match the 20x? What should I have on top? What number here? We need a plus 10, no x on it. 10 times 2x is 20x. 10 times negative 2 is a negative 20. Do I keep it that way? Plus. Negative plus. And then what is negative 12 and 20?
22. It's 8.
Okay. Then for your final answer, you're gonna put 2x squared plus 7x plus 10 plus a remainder of 8 over 2x minus 2. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, will you take a look at number 11? This is the one I'm going to have you try by yourself, but don't try it yet. Okay, here's what's going to happen if you try number 11 right now. Don't write this down, just watch. I would do 2x times what to get a 2x cubed? 2x squared? Just an x squared, very good. Okay, so don't write this down because it's wrong and you're going to have to go back and erase it. X squared times 2x is a 2x cubed. And then x squared times 4 X squared times 4 is a 4x squared. Then I go to subtract, right? And everything's going fine until, do these still cross out? Yeah, but can I subtract these? No, this is a regular x and this is an x squared. So that is gonna happen anytime that you have a missing power in your dividend, which is what you're dividing under the square root. So look back at the question on your paper. What power is missing? It goes from x3 to what? Regular x, and it's skipped over x squared. So I want you to rewrite your question. So it should say this, 2x plus 4, 2x cubed plus 0x squared plus 12x plus 7. Okay, if you're ever missing a term, you have to write it in or else it's gonna end up not being lined up correctly. Okay, now do you feel like you can try it? All right, and then I'm gonna grab a calculator so I take the number. Okay, work with your table. Check your work as you go. Oh, that's kind of dirty. Do you like that? You good with that? Okay. There you go. Uh-huh. You're welcome. Wait, hold on. I might have answered your question. That would be like, if you're like you're multiplying, then it would end up plus. Yes. So one thing, this is already done. No, you're right. Oh.
Wait, you we go into it? Negative?
You will have a negative in the front eventually. Are you on the 0 minus 4 part? Yeah, then be negative 4 everywhere.
What is what's that?
Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
Just because of this? Okay, you need to get the form today then. Cause they're not gonna do it after. I don't even teach that.
Wait, after that, what do you mean a negative in the front? I'm done.
Oh, wait.
I was still having a DPA.
Honestly, I miss my VGA report, so.
No, like the number one thing that I hate is PCI. Because you get so many, like, those ports before USB. Two Thunderbolts, HDMI, SD card squad, USB.
Did you get 30? Uh-oh, it should be 30. I think. Okay, I'm coming to see, I'm coming to see.
My Ethernet. My Ethernet port was, here's my Ethernet port. Could I?
This is great. Where this is the line. But not the savior.
That is not happening. I know, but I blame Apple for doing
Now your mind is to Brian is get a time.
How did I snap it?
So I think you did.
it says.
It's not, but since you have the wrong number up top. Okay, so now.
Open your life.
It's all my president. After that,
Two
no,
times what will give you 20 years.
so it don't matter. It don't matter. Okay.
So we minus 42.
Yes. The solid one.
But I'm just saying, so.
Even with that, was that thing, even when we write down. We were gonna know, no, I know.
How do you do the negative? I'm
Yeah, but what's missing? You're gonna have to write in the zero. That's good. If you don't rewrite it, I feel like it's too late. But you don't have to. Okay, yes?
I'm so confused by the negative.
Okay. All right, look up and find your mistake. You should have gotten 30.
Oh, wait, I did the first one right. Oh, wait.
But didn't you say you have a negative in the.
Now, if you're done with this one, go to number 12 and find the missing power and rewrite it.
If we get our materials, then we go. But if you get our record, then yeah. No, that was for not.
No, I just wondering what that was. That's fine. It was just so slow.
Okay, so that
It's
goes.
just like you can already I see it.
So it'd be 12 plus, it would give you 20. Now what thing is all about what's all sugar. So that's 12x, that's 1x. Now we want to add 2x, 20x. So we have to try to find.
Do we do number 4? 10.
But I just want you to rewrite it. Okay. Okay. Or actually, yeah, I guess we can do it. All right, last one, number 12. What power is missing? Okay, it was x cubed, so I have a 2x4, 0x cubed, 9x squared plus 11x plus 2. Okay, and we're not gonna do 13 if you're not excited about it, okay? All right, let's just go one row at a time. What do I times x squared by? To perfectly match a 2x4. 2x squared is correct. Then I'm going to take my 2x squared. I'm going to times it by x squared to give me the 2x4. Remember, we planned that. We want these to match. But then what's 2x squared times another 2x? 4x cubed. And it's going to line up right underneath the 0x cubed that I had to write in. Now, do I add these rows? Subtract, which means you have to change the signs. So even though this was originally a positive 4, now it's 0 minus 4, which gives me negative 4x cubed. Carry down what? Plus 9x squared. Okay, then I just repeat. I have an x squared. What do I really want? A negative 4x cubed, right? So what do I need? Negative 4 and an x. Negative 4x times x squared is negative 4x cubed. I planned that. Negative 4x times 2x. Negative 8x what? 8x squared. Very good. And then what do I do with the signs on the row? Switch them. So it's going to go plus, plus. The first two cross out anyways, though. I'm not really worried about those. 9 plus 8 is how many? 17. Carry down the 11x. What do I need to put up top? 17. 17 times x squared is a 17x squared. What about 17 times 2x? 34x. Do I keep it a plus?
No.
Because I'm going to change the signs to minuses. My 17's in front, cross out. Somebody with the calculator, what's 11 minus 34? Negative 23x. Carry down plus 2. Okay, now when you get to this point, is there anything I could times my x squared by to make it go back to a regular x? Then this is your remainder. So as soon as your power here is too small for you to times to get it, that's when you know that you're done. Write your answer. It should be 2x squared, all the crap on the top. 2x squared minus 4x plus 17 plus, and then my remainder is going to be this over the divisor, just like last time. So it's negative 23x plus 2 over x squared plus 2x. Okay? Even though your remainder came out to have a negative, for your delta math, I want you to make sure this is always a plus. Make sure your remainder gets tucked in if it's negative, where the negative's on top. Okay, do you feel like you could do that? Okay. All right, go ahead and pull out your Chromebooks. Your first few questions, your remainder should come out to 0. Okay, one more time, listen up. The first few questions, if your remainder is 0, you don't have to put this at all. You would never say plus a remainder of 0.
You don't even.
You would just put the first one. Okay? And then let me unlock it so y'all can see it, because I think it's still hidden. All right, y'all should be able to see it now. Okay, for your instructions, it literally tells you what I just said. Any questions that's a level 1 or a level 2? What, how can you get wrong?
Yes.
Oh, it's okay. Just don't worry about that. I'll fix it. Yes is the only answer choice. It really counted it wrong.
No. No.
Okay, I'll fix it. Just do the problems. Okay, I adjusted it where yes is correct now. So if you refresh, it shouldn't count it wrong anymore. Okay, but all the level 1s and 2s, if you're not getting 0 for your remainder, you messed up. Yes. If you refresh, I think maybe it'll just count it. Because I just coded the first instance. When you refresh, did it come from? Oh, okay. Then I will reset. Okay, do your division first.
Just need help.
Okay, that's okay.
Also, I know I got a bad grade on the other one. I didn't finish.
Okay.
I forgot what it was. After lunch, I can
Homework 1. Yeah, I can. The only thing is, since it's past due, when you finish it, you're gonna have to email me so that I can take the late penalty off. Okay, Lauren, your first one is reset.
How do you get the very first one?
I coded it wrong.
How do you get the instructions?
Okay, so do a new class, and then let me give you the code.
No, I will not.
You're doing this one wrong. Does anyone want a little scratch paper?
I want. Right.
Anyone else need paper over here?
Sure. I didn't even see what I just said.
Don't have some extra paper, you good?
And now I am.
Yeah, so
You're the one shaking.
let me check you.
I get a quick, you gotta roll.
Two times X, but you get it from you. Plus 28 up top, and then times it by both. Don't need any extra paper. Yes. I do. Some of y'all's questions are the same, so you can work together, but some of them aren't. My thing, Miss Lane would like to see. Huh? You just wanna work on that so bad. No. For what? Where you No. Are you joking? Or are you for? When. Okay, so in your notes, turn to the last page. Okay, long division always works. Synthetic division sometimes works. Here's how you know if it'll work on your problem or not. Okay, if you're dividing by X with no number in front, that's when the shortcut works. So do you see how here your X doesn't have anything in front? Nothing in front. Okay, P minus 5, the P doesn't have anything in front. So you can only use the shortcut if you don't have a number on your thing you're dividing by. Okay, so let me show you how to do it. We're gonna do number 1. Whatever you're dividing by, you're gonna put the opposite of that number in the box. So if it's an X minus 3, I'm gonna put a plus 3 in the box. Ready, Oliver? Okay, so minus 3 goes to a plus 3. Then, because it's a shortcut, we wanna be a little lazy. We don't wanna rewrite all of this, so we're just gonna put the numbers. So for my X cubed, I'm gonna put a 1. For my minus 5x squared, I'm just gonna put the minus 5. Then the minus 2. And then the 24. Okay, remember, for the shortcut, you wanna be a little bit lazy. Okay, the first number is always gonna come straight down. And then you're gonna times it by the box. So can you tell me?
3.
1 times 3 is 3, it's a positive 3. And then I'm gonna add it with the number in the next column. So if I have a negative 5 plus 3, how many is that? What kind of 2? Okay, very good. Then I repeat, take that number, times it by the box. What's negative 2 times 3? Negative 6. And then I combine it with the -2 in the next column. So it was -2 times 3.
Oh.
So you're always gonna be timesing by the box each time. -2 and -6 give me -8. And then what do I do with this number? I times it by what? The box is a 3. -8 times 3 is -24. And then 24 and -24 give you how many?
0.
That's your remainder. Okay, then to write your final answer, your x's are gonna start 1 power less than they were in the original. So do you remember how this started off as an x3? Then your answer has to start off as an x2. So you're gonna put 1x2 minus 2x minus 8. Make sense? Okay, now I know you probably don't care about this, but let's talk about why did we change the sign here? Okay, because if we change the sign in the box, then we never have to, we're always gonna be timing back to that. Okay, so that's the step where you switch the signs each time. Okay, so let's do number 2. What am I dividing by? X and a what? +2, then what do I put in the box? -2. Then remember, I want to be lazy. I don't want to rewrite the whole thing, so I'm just going to pull the numbers. I have a 1x cubed, a positive 4x squared, a positive 6x, and a -4. Okay, but notice I'm not writing any of the x's because I want to shortcut it. I want it to be fast. The first number, straight down. So I'm going to take my 1, put it right here. Once the 1 makes it to the bottom, what do I do with it? Times it by -2. -2 goes here. What's +4 and -2? 2, very good. You can put the plus if you want, that's fine. Okay, then take that number, times it by -2. What's 2 times -2? -4, and then what's 6 minus 4? Okay, one more left. Take that number, times it by the -2. 2 times -2 gives me -4, and -4 minus 8 more. Or I said that wrong. Did I say that wrong? -8. That number is called my what? Remainder. Okay, then remember, if my answer started as an x3, how is my final answer going to be? Starts as an x2, because it's always going to start 1 power less. To be 1x squared plus 2x plus 2. Now, if I don't get a remainder at all, I don't have to put the fraction. Did I get a remainder here? What did we get for our remainder? Then you would put plus -8 over x plus 2. Okay, just like we were doing with long division. Okay, if your remainder is 0, you don't have to put that. But if your remainder is anything else, you want to include it. Okay, now I am not going to do any of the other bottom questions, but which one is missing a power? Or actually, I guess we should do it. Number 4, which power is it missing? Okay, so I'm going to put right here plus 0x cubed, so that when you do your synthetic division, you'll have to put a 0 in that spot. Okay, so I'm going to put what in the box? What number? If it's a +3, I put a -3. And then I'm going to list each of my coefficients. That's just the number part, no x's. So it'd be a 1x4, a 0x3, then a -2 + 3 -3. And then remember though, the process doesn't really change. You take that guy, drop it down, times it by the box, copy it over. Add them up. Times by the box, copy it over, etc. So this will be a 1. What's 1 times -3? 1 times -3 is -3. What's 0 minus 3? Okay, -3 times -3 again. It's okay, +9. Okay, make sure we're multiplying. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then if it's a -2 + 9, that'd be 7, then back times the box. 7 times -3 is -21. Make sure you're careful with your signs. Then 3 minus 21 is -18. Ooh, might need help on the last one. -18 times -3. 54. Okay, and then quick question, positive or negative on that? It was a -18 times a -3 makes it positive. What's 54 minus 3? That's your remainder. What power did my equation start as? An x what? The biggest was a 4, then my answer, the biggest will only be 3. So it'll be a 1x3 minus a 3x2, 7x minus 18 plus 51 over x plus 3. Okay? Now, I'm about to just have you finish your homework. But let me just tell you one thing. Okay, if it's a level 3, you're definitely gonna have maybe you could have a remainder of 0, but mostly it's not. Level 1s and 2s, if you're not getting a remainder 0, you messed it up. Okay, if your question says to do long division, but the shortcut will work, do I care? Do the shortcut, okay, because it's faster, that's why I taught it to you. Whether or not you can shortcut. If there's a number in front of the x on what you're dividing by. So if you're dividing by x plus 3, shortcut it. 2x plus 3, no shortcut.
Okay, so this is x plus 4.
X plus 4, you put a -4 in the box, you can shortcut it. Yes?
Right?
Are you on a list 3?
Okay, then it's 2 0.
So let's see what you got.
You did. You're kind of mad.
Yeah. Like the 0 and the 3.
That's fine. If you were trying to have your -12, we have to get the negative. Oh, not math help? Oh, and this is the no shortcut. Just remember, once you sign, it's a minus, so you have to switch it to plus. So that'll then be a 28. Yes.
And then when she makes her argument, she makes this all for
She did 4 times 4 is 15. This one right here. What do you times 4x by to get 4x squared? Do you need another 4? You just need 1x, right? Or x by itself is fine. So then 4x times 1x is 4x squared. What's 1 times 1? 1x. And then we're gonna start it off 1 times 1. So what is 29 minus 1 would be 20. And now you can keep going. 4 times what? Seven times 4 is 28x, right? And then what about 7? Change your signs. Minus 1. They're gonna cross out. All your level 1 and 2 has to be getting 0. So now you know your answer is right. Whoa, level 3. Very stupid of you. Yeah.
Right now.